Okay, so as we did in the last part of the first video here, we typed beach day in. We're using Myriad Pro Regular at 600 points. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to change the opacity of the beach day down to 25%. And it doesn't matter that this is bigger, because what we're going to be doing is this, the text is actually going to be moving across the screen. We can see the beach day starting there. And anyways, so we want to make sure that the playhead is at the beginning here. And we are going to click the stopwatch icon. So we're going to click the little arrow up here to see the beach day attributes right over here. And there's little stopwatch icons next to all these attributes. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the transform property. And you'll see the keyframe appears as a yellow diamond in the timeline here. The other thing we're going to do as well is we want to change the timeline of the text to be the same as the bottom video here. And as you saw, we moved the beach, and you want the beach to come up to the so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag the beach over to the end here where these two lines intersect. And then we're going to take the playhead and we're going to bring it to the end of the clip. So then the next thing we're going to do, and it's important that you hold down your shift key while doing this, we are going to hold down the shift key and we are going to drag beach day, and holding down the shift key keeps it all on the same level, and we're going to bring the Y over to the other two intersecting lines. And you'll see that it's created another timeline there, a triangle next to the text clip. And then we're going to go ahead and save. Okay, so next we're going to go and create effects. One of the benefits of working with video files in Photoshop is we can create effects using adjustment layers. And so you have used adjustment layers in the past. So what I want you to do now is you're going to select the layer Dog 3, Dog at the Beach. And in the timeline panel, we're going to move the playhead to number 3, Dog at the Beach. Okay, and then what we're going to do is in the adjustments panel, go ahead and bring in the adjustments panel. And what we're going to do is we are going to click on black and white. And then in the property panel, we are going to actually select tint. And it gives it kind of a sepia color there. And we can click on the play, and we can move the time panel. We can kind of see the effect that it's had on this video clip. So in the next task, we're going to animate a zoom effect. And what we're going to be doing is moving to the 4 dog clips. And we just move this a little bit so we can get on that clip. And you see the new picture here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the arrow on this clip. And we get the motion panel to come in. And we're going to choose zoom in from the zoom menu. And on the zoom grid, we're going to select the upper left corner to zoom at that point. And we want to make sure resize to fill canvas is selected, and then we'll click an empty area of the timeline panel to close that. We're going to drag the playhead across, bring that down a little bit, and we can see the effect that it has on this particular clip. So we're going to enlarge the last keyframe to make the zoom more dramatic. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on the attributes, and you can see we got two keyframes going on right now. And we're going to click on the right arrow next to the transform attribute. And you can see that it turns yellow. And then we're going to go up to edit free transform. And we are going to enter 120% in the width and the height. And then we'll go ahead and we'll double click, and then we'll drag the playhead across. And you can see how it zooms in larger at the end of the frame. And then click anywhere in the time frame to get out of that. And again, choose File and Save. So our next task is we're going to actually animate an image to create a sort of motion effect. And we're going to be going to number 5, jumping layer. And you see a man, looks like he's jumping off of something there. And the first thing we're going to do is, after we select, make sure you have the clip selected here. And I'm going to turn that off, select the clip. And we are going to press the shift while we get in and drag the man down so his hands are just to the top of the canvas. This puts him in the end position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the attributes here in the timeline, and you can see the stopwatch icon for the position. We're going to go ahead and click that over here, and what it's going to do is it's going to add another keyframe right here. And then we're going to move the playhead to the beginning of the clip, and I think I just did that wrong because so I did do that wrong. So let's go back and change that. What we want to do is we'll move him back to where he was here. And what we wanted to do here in this one was we wanted to move the playhead to the end of the clip. Okay, and then on the image we hold down our shift and then bring his arms down to the end here. And then this is where I go ahead and then click on the attribute arrow here, and then I'm going to go to position. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the playhead while I'm holding shift to the end of the clip. Get that there. And then I'm going to press shift while I bring his feet right to the bottom here. Okay. And then we go ahead and we can view our animation here, and you can see how we've created the motion. And then go ahead and click Save. And we'll move on to the next task. So our next task is going to be adding pan and zoom effects, and we can easily add features similar to pan and zoom used in documentaries, etc. And we're going to add them to the sunset video to bring a dramatic close here. So we want to make sure we're selected on our layer, and we'll go ahead and bring out the timeline here so we can see it. And we want to make sure that the playhead's at the beginning of the sunset. And we're going to open up the motion panel, and we are going to choose zoom, and we're going to go zoom out. And we want to make sure resize to fill canvas is clicked, and then just click anywhere on the timeline, and then we can watch the effects. Okay. On this next one, we're going to be adding transitions to our clips, and I'm just going to bring the playhead back to the front. And up here, right next to the little scissors here, we and I dragged the playhead back, but another way I could have done that as well was just selected this to bring the playhead back to the beginning as well. Then we're going to go ahead and click the transition button in the left-hand corner. And what I want to select is crossfade. And we're going to change the duration to a 0.25 seconds. Okay? And we're going to drag the crossfade between the 1 and 2 clips. Okay? And basically Photoshop adjusts the ends of the clip to apply the transitions and adds a small white icon in the lower corner of the second clip, which you can see right here. And then we're going to drag a crossfade transition between all the other clips as well. And then at the end, we're going to drag a fade with black transition to the very end. To make the transition smoother, we extend the fade black transition by stretching it to the left side to about 1/3 of the clip. Now go ahead and click Save. So next we're going to add audio to our clip here, and right down here on the audio track we click on the little music note here and we go to add audio, and we go and select our beach song. And you'll notice that the beach song is much longer than our video clips, and so what we're going to do is we are going to drag our playhead to the end of the sunset clip, and then there's a tool here which will allow us to split at playhead, and you'll notice that it's split it at the playhead, and so now the audio file is clipped and it now becomes 2 audio clips. I'm going to select the second audio clip, and I'm just going to press the delete key on the keyboard, and now we have the audio clip that just goes over the full length of the movie. So at this point there's a little arrow at the end of Beach Song, and I'm going to click on that, and what we're going to do is we'll keep the volume at 100%. We're going to do the fade in at 3 seconds and the fade out at 5 seconds. And we'll go ahead and save.